Are you ready, Judy?
Good morning. This is Dare County Board of Elections supplemental meeting at 9 o'clock on November 13th. We'll be taking care of the last remaining ballots. There'll be provisionals that have been filled out and we'll have to vote on, and absentee ballots that have arrived by the deadline of 5 o'clock yesterday. Following this meeting at 11 o'clock will be our county canvass. And if all totals balance, we'll be able to certify the results and send them to the state that's set to certify, I think it's the 24th. In addition to the members of the board and staff, we also have 5 observers. Randy Finninger, Craig Jones, Carol Warnicki, Aida Havel, and Karen Bloss. We'll miss you when we're through with these, but you can come back another time. So let's start with one challenge vote. And normally with a challenge vote, we would have a hearing, but in this case, to have a hearing, you have to have both parties. And in this case, we can't identify the second party. This was a voter who, after the election, posted on Facebook that she had gone to vote, had to vote a provisional ballot because she had been told that she had already voted on October 21st here in Manio. And she said, I didn't do that. So I didn't know the person, got on there real quick and said, please let our office know what you can right away. So she contacted the office. They did their investigation, and there was a ballot cast in early voting here in Manio on the 21st under her name, but it couldn't have been her. And it could have been caused by all kinds of things. It could have been caused by a poll worker printing out the wrong authorization to vote, and neither the poll worker nor the voter bothering to read what was on the top of the page. Jackie and Kelly did some investigation. They kind of think they know who it was, but the state told them that they could not call them to talk to them about it. So at this point, what we need to do is vote to remove that ballot cast on October 21st. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we remove the ballot on October 21st.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On readiness, I'd like to know a little more detail about it. There's no more detail that can be
That's
shared?
all the detail we have, James.
Well, Jackie,
So the voter who presented to vote election day contacted our office the day after election, after we'd heard that she'd posted her post on Facebook, and she provided also a email statement stating that she did not vote early on the 21st in person in Manio because that's where the ATV form was issued in her name, and someone signed it, didn't check it. And she says that she was at work in Currituck County at the Sun Realty office in Harbinger on that day and could provide proof of that if we needed it. So she is registered in Kitty Hawk, so she was offered a provisional ballot when it was noticed that in the system, it was noted that she had already voted. So I contacted the state and they said that her vote that was cast incorrectly during early voting would need to be removed, and the board would need to review it and do a challenge on it, and then her provisional ballot would be counted. So that's what we have. We have the ATV that was issued in her name with another signature, and then we have her provisional application here as well.
we don't know who the person is that voted in her name during early voting.
Not definitively. Kelly and I and Jessica did some investigation and a little detective work ourselves because we were just curious if we could figure it out. So we did a query by date of birth and came up with one individual with the same date of birth. We printed their voter registration application and compared signatures, and it looked like a clear match to us, but we couldn't say for sure. And guidance from the state, when I contacted them, they were like, there's nothing we can do about that because we don't know for sure it was that individual. And I asked if we should contact that individual, and we were advised that we could not contact that individual.
So it's that ballot that we are throwing out,
Right, the one that was issued,
doing early
the ballot
voting.
that was issued on October 21st on this ATV form. And then this provisional ballot that was cast on election day in the Kitty Hawk precinct is the one that goes to this voter who will be counted.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, do you want to do the? We
Next
had-
thing we have is, we have 4 cure letters that we've received that the board needs to take action on if they see fit, for 4 voters. And these are in order if you would like to review them or you want to just make a motion to approve them. Be happy to pass them down.
Sure. Okay, thanks.
Kelly, Jackie wants you to know, this now constitutes all the cure letters that went out and all the cure letters that came back. There's nothing floating around.
Well, there's one that,
There is, but we have not received any, there was no response from the voters.
some of them didn't respond. They went and voted in early, at the polls instead. But there's one in question.
And we have two that were ballots that were reissued.
Two that had ballots reissued. We've been checking these periodically to see how many that were pending cures or waiting, that got a new ballot issued if they voted in person. And so we're down to 2 that have had ballots reissued but not returned, and 8 that received cure letters and didn't return the cure letters. So out of all of them that we've sent out.
Do we know whether they voted in person?
Not these. We've checked them. So all the other ones did vote in person, and those ballots were then spoiled, the absentees. And then we also have the one that you did not approve because of the stamp signature with state guidance. So technically, I guess 9.
Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that one. Yeah, it's separate from these that they're passing.
That's correct. Mhm. And then the one that we had question about the digital signature, the type signature that was, the font is in cursive. Per state guidance, they said that we could not issue a new cure on this because you can't cure a cure. Right.
Yeah, that's the one that Ken had spotted last time that was computer generated.
So that's not counted.
Right.
Okay.
And just so you know, these ballots that need cures or reissues, they're constantly coming in and we're constantly checking. So that number fluctuates constantly because if they voted in person, that comes out of the stack if they return their letter. But at the same time, we may get 2 in the mail. So it's kind of hard to keep a consistent number. So that's why we keep them together and make notes.
We have one cure.
Yes.
But everything else terminates as of today. No more letters, no more
Right.
nothing. We don't,
Right.
all right. Because, I'm sorry, I thought you said we're still checking them, but I understood as of 5 o'clock yesterday, everything was stopped, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I don't, does the board want to see this letter that they talked about last week with the cursive font that will be disapproved?
No.
I don't, but I think James said he'd like to see it.
No, I didn't say that.
Pardon?
I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you were saying, yeah, you want to see it. I'm sorry.
This way means no.
Do you, the board need to take action on the ballot that's being disapproved due to the signature?
Yes. Do I hear a motion to disapprove the ballot that has a computer-generated signature?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Do I hear a motion from the board to approve the 4 cures that have come in before the deadline?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
And we have several ballots that came in past the deadline. And they have postmarks that are not November the 3rd, they're postmarked the 4th, November 4th. No, these are just regular absentee ballots that were postmarked after the deadline of November 3rd. And I believe they were all delivered by the postmaster to our office personally. We've been receiving deliveries periodically from the local postmaster here and postmasters from other counties. They would bring us the ballots as they got them so that we would have them in time. So if the board would like to look at these,
It's too bad, yeah.
there's 3.
And there's our stamp, but if you look, you can also see the postal postmark, and they all say the 4th.
Yeah, we got a date stamp, but the
They came
postmark on
in
the
after
front.
the deadline.
Pardon?
They came in after, so why are we looking at them? They're not counted.
Just to check the postmark.
Oh, okay, so they're, all right.
Remember, we found several the last time we did it, that it was confusing. These postmarks are really faint, and sometimes a post office will stamp it
This is the postmark.
to show what
This
day
is
it
the date
arrived
that
at
we
the
received
facility,
it.
and people were
I
getting
see.
the two confused.
Isn't that too bad?
And there's that one.
Yeah.
The one that, oh, that's not that one we approved. It doesn't have a postmark in our batch, but it's here.
Oh, yeah, that one. We received one from Israel yesterday, but it had a correct postmark
And so it's not postmarked on the envelope, but it was on the container.
on the container that it was in. Yes.
And they paid $109 to make it get here.
Wow.
Yeah, I would.
Is this received on here when they brought it into the office?
This is what we received in the mail.
That's, yeah, when it came to us.
It came to us. They were hand delivered by the postmaster.
But we look at the postmark from the post office.
That's the postmark from the post office. It was in Mooresville, North Carolina, and it was hand delivered to us by a postmaster from another county.
Wow, postmaster from another county.
Yeah, they were bringing them to us. We had, our local postmaster was bringing them to us, and then we had, I'm not sure where she was from, but she was from another county, maybe Plymouth. And they would hand deliver them, bring them to us. They were doing everything they could to get the ballots here on time.
Too bad it wasn't from Mooresville.
It may have been because there is a postmark on one of them from Mooresville,
No,
North
I'm
Carolina.
saying too bad the postmaster, it wasn't the postmaster from Mooresville. Joking.
Kelly's gonna go accept those ballots that you approved the cure letters on, put them in the system.
Didn't even put the stamp on
Pardon?
it.
I know.
Yes,
But the post office sent it to us anyhow.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't hear you, Karen.
I thought that you could still accept an absentee ballot until yesterday.
5 o'clock yesterday.
Right.
With a postmark of the 3rd.
Kelly's taken the cures in to change them in the system. And then before we end this meeting, we will be able to run those through the ballot counter too. But we can't do it until they change in the system.
So the next thing we'll do is, the board want to review the provisional ballots that staff has already done research on and make your decisions on those provisional applications. How do you want to do that, Sandy? You want to split them up? And we've categorized them in different categories. We've got provisional ballot that was done. It was an inactive voter, and they should have just done an update and not a provisional application. So that should have been automatic, just an update on the laptop, and they didn't do that. We have categories of registered at DMV, or they did an online transaction and it was done after the deadline. We have a couple of provisionals that the voters were registered and they presented at one stop or election day, I'm not sure. I think it was one stop. It was one stop. And they wanted to either do a same-day registration or update their address, and the precinct official, for whatever reason, could not find their street name in the geocode, so they did a provisional. And that should have just been a regular ballot, and
Jackie, in your category, would you say at the end if you are, the staff is recommending approval from the board
Yeah.
or rejection from the board?
I think it would be easier, Jackie, if you just did one category and then we're done with that, and then do another category, we're done with that. And
well, we actually didn't make recommendations because we just provided the research so the board could determine whether or not they wanted to approve them.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying just do one category, we make a decision on those. We do another category, make a decision on
Okay,
those.
that's fine.
It's just confusing when
Okay,
we're,
that's fine. So, these three applications, the voter was going to do a same-day registration, and the precinct official had a geocode issue. It says they couldn't accept the address, but in fact, they were already registered and they only wanted to change their address, which they should have done a regular ballot and then hand wrote the address change, and then we would have taken care of the geocode later in the office. This one is an active registered voter in Kill Hills, had a geocode issue, is incorrectly registered in KDH because the streets are similar, and that should have just been an address update as well. This was the same thing, unable to do a same-day registration due to a geocode issue. So I would say that those applications should be approved. 4. And we've made notes at the bottom of each application when we did our research.
Were these all different geocode?
Yeah, they would be,
Instances?
they would be all different geocode instances, like different addresses and possibly different locations. Actually, these two are the same because I think they were husband and wife. And Seabass Circle and Southern Shores, and there apparently is nothing in our voter registration geocode with that street name because it may be that no one ever registered on that street, or it could possibly be a new street that was not developed.
So then do you notify the geocode people?
No, we take care of that in the office. We create the geocode in our system. I have to go in the system and put the street range in, and then it's there, and then those applications will be registered on that street.
Unless there's an unreadiness, I move that we approve the 4 provisional ballots where there were geocode errors,
Not errors, issues.
issues.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Okay, these 3 voters we found no record of registration. They were previously removed from Dare County registration, and we found that they were previously registered in another county. This one, for example, was registered in Mecklenburg County after being moved from ours within the state. And they're currently removed in Mecklenburg as well. This one was removed because they moved within the state in 2015. They registered in Currituck County in 2015, and their status is currently active in Currituck County. This other one, she was moved from the county in 2015, and we could find no further record of registration in our system.
Just for clarification, Jackie, the first one, Mecklenburg County, that person is not currently registered in Mecklenburg County either.
No, we don't know where that person is registered now, but apparently when they moved within the state, they moved to Mecklenburg County, registered there, and have since relocated somewhere else, and Mecklenburg has also removed them.
But she believes that she had registered through the DMV.
But she did not. We did not find any record of that. And that happens a lot. People think they did it and they really didn't, or they say they did it, and
So she's an unregistered voter.
that's correct.
I was in Collington when something similar to that, it was a man, not a woman, very similar to that, except it was Wake County and not Mecklenburg County.
I was in Nag's Head last time, and man was in there doing a provisional. We walked outside, and I said, you think your provisional is going to go through? He said, I don't know. I've never voted before. And he said, I don't think I ever registered either, but I thought it was worth a shot. And honestly, that's a lot of these.
Well, yeah, we have one also, haven't gotten to it yet, but a lady was here visiting and she just wanted to vote. She doesn't even live here.
It's not my intention to rush anybody, but unless there's unreadiness, I move that we reject these provisional ballots where the individual was not properly registered.
These 3.
And you're speaking of these that we did previously too, what were they? Were they registered late after the deadline?
No, let's just take those
Oh, those
separately.
3, okay.
So those 3,
Yes.
Yes, this person was removed. They were previously registered in Dare County. They were removed because they moved within the state. And that's something that is done by the state in 2015. They registered in Currituck County in 2015, and their status is currently active in Currituck County.
Could some of the votes, the statewide votes on that one, then not be counted? Would that be a partially counted ballot?
Not for Dare County because he's not registered in Dare County.
But the statewide votes would have been the same. That, I think the state board allows you to partially count a ballot for the statewide races.
Well, but this one hasn't been counted yet anyway, so it's not gonna delete something from our totals because it was never added in.
And they're not registered in the county.
There's something called partially counted. In the statute. And that is, I don't know if it comes on falls under the category, but statewide, as a state can say no matter what county you're voting in. So do we do partially counted vote ballots? In other words, you could count the votes for president, governor, council of state, judicial races, because those are going to show up statewide. They're going to show up on Dare County ballots as well as Currituck County.
Rather than belabor that here now, could we take a few minutes and look further into that when we take a break and come back to
Well,
it?
if they're registered in Currituck County, obviously they're not allowed to vote twice.
Yeah, they might well have voted twice.
And they were removed from Dare County because they registered in Currituck County.
I get that. But sometimes when you're doing the checking or the verification, you can see if they voted in Currituck. And if they didn't, then some of those races could count on partial.
We don't count.
No, we're
We,
not.
no, we don't count Currituck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to,
Well, hang on. First motion was to eliminate all three of them,
right,
correct?
Yes.
I second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so these are disapproved.
These are disapproved. If they want to protest them later, fine, but let's, like you said, let's take.
Yeah,
one
we
at a
These are accepted because these had geocode issues.
Yes.
Right.
Are those people, those three people going to be notified that they're not properly registered in Dare County?
No.
No, but they can call in and see whether their provisional ballot was accepted.
They will, their application will be processed and they will now be registered in Dare County. It's just that their vote does not count for Dare County for this election. Because the provisional application is not only a provisional application, but it is also a voter registration form.
I see,
So
okay.
once someone votes a provisional application and it is processed, they are registered in Dare County.
But
So
Jackie,
what will
about-
happen is the one for Currituck County, although the vote won't be counted, their registration in Currituck County will be canceled and they will now become a registered voter in Dare County.
did they give us a Dare County address?
Yes, they have to do that.
Okay.
These next two, these are two voters that we researched and they were denied when they registered because their verification was returned undeliverable. Therefore, their status was denied and they were not registered.
Do I hear a motion to approve denial?
Well, a question. And when they appeared to vote, they could not provide any residency information?
I'm not sure if they voted during early voting or on election day. They voted on election day, so same-day registration was not an option on election day. So with their status being denied, that means that they were not registered, and when the precinct official looked them up, They could not find a valid registration for them.
No registration at all. It's not, that there was an address issue, just no registration.
No, they were no longer registered because they had previously registered and did not provide accurate contact information for us to make contact to verify their residency. Therefore, after several attempts to contact them, their application was denied.
Just for information, were they listed in the system as an inactive, as
No,
inactive
sir, they were
voters?
entered in the system as denied.
Denied, okay. I move that we deny the application of these two voters whose applications were listed in the system as denied.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
This next one is a voter that was removed under purge, the old purge law, and they did not re-register. And that's all the information that we could find, was that they were removed under the old purge law, and we're assuming that is the statute that says not voted under 2 federal general elections.
I wonder how many people know that.
Well, you have to go way far back.
It's 8 years minimum, right?
These are not approved.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wouldn't occur to
that
me
was
to-
years ago, a long time ago. Right.
Are we voting for denial on this one? Is that what we're saying?
Yes. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the denial of this taxpayer.
Doesn't seem quite right. I feel like we
Huh?
should count.
Too much?
No, we can't.
They're not registered.
They're not registered.
They're not
voters.
registered, period.
Then we have, this is,
Wait, we're gonna carry that motion through? I second.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Huh? We
We
forgot
need
to
it.
vote on it.
Okay.
Aye.
You voted on it?
Yeah. Just say aye, we'll be good.
we're getting rid of that particular election. Why don't you do it to me
That's
now?
the new one with the cure letters added.
176.
I don't think that we need to go through each one, like
Yeah,
all of those that are going to be denied that y'all researched. I think we could probably handle those at one time because it's going to take us a while to go through those absentees, if everybody's comfortable with that.
Well, I want us to go through the categories. We don't have to name each ballot under the categories, but the categories I want full explanation of. I like to hear full explanation of the categories.
This next 5 are voters that we found that were removed due to felony convictions and have never re-registered. So there's 5 of those.
I make a motion that we accept the removal of those 5 felons.
Very second.
Well, let's not count them as felons. We don't know if they're felons now or not.
I'm
Those-
just repeating what she said.
Well,
Removing-
I don't want our vote to say that we are removing felons. We don't know if today they're felons or not. I'm merely saying, let's say voters or let's say ballots, but not categorize them as felons.
But that's why they were removed.
Earlier, we don't know if they're felons today or not.
But that would be under the 9 categories of removal previously removed from voter registration. That's what the category is.
Yeah.
It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we remove the 5 voters.
Who have not re-registered.
Who were previously removed as felons and are currently not and did not re-register.
All out above.
Second.
Do I hear?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, this is 20 provisional applications that were from voters who said that they registered through DMV or online, and in our research, we found that they did in fact make a transaction with DMV or online, but they were after the deadline. Some were made on in late October, and some were made election day. 10/9.
29.
Yeah.
And the majority of these were either done, like I said, in the late October or on election day.
How many are there,
There's
Jackie?
20, I believe.
I move that we reject the 20 provisional ballots where the people attempted to register late.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Okay, we have 13 provisionals that were currently registered voters, but they are unreported moves. So they presented to a precinct that they did not live in, and, well, they did live in, they moved to that area, but they were registered in another precinct, so they were unreported moves.
I move that we approve the 13 provisional ballots where the issue of the reason was an unrecorded move.
For your second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, there's 26 voters that we found in research that were registered in other counties, and their statuses were inactive or active, but they are registered in other counties in North Carolina.
26.
26.
But how do they break out between active and inactive? Do we know the split between active in other counties and inactive in other counties
You mean the number?
of the 26?
We didn't break it out like that, but we can look. Mhm.
They, because the Currituck one is,
Registered in Currituck at last count, but not now. And there's no address anyplace.
They were active in Currituck County, I was wondering why they weren't.
because they have been previously removed to Darien, these have never been previously posted there.
Yeah, these were never registered in Dare County. We found that they were never registered in Dare County, but they are, however, registered in other counties, and their statuses in those counties are active or inactive.
And either way, they could vote. Does that answer your question, Karen?
If they,
So those are
my biggest question is, if we're going to so that their votes count, yes. If you're going to reject them because they're in other counties, no.
Did you understand the
I
question?
don't know what you said either.
No.
20 are active and how many were the
There's six that are registered in other counties that are currently inactive.
and 20 that are registered in other counties that are active.
And there was one that did try to do an online transaction through DMV, They did an online transaction on October the 24th, which was after the deadline of October 9th.
If we're ready, we're ready. I move that we reject the provisional ballots for the 26 provisional ballots, but voters who were registered in other counties and not registered in their county.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
We have 48 provisionals that in our research, we found that they were removed after 2 federal general elections. And we don't have any record or indication that they moved out of the county. There was nothing to indicate that they moved out of the county or out of the state. It just says that they were removed after 2 federal elections.
Does that mean they're
Question.
not registered?
Yeah, that question is, did they present any information regarding their current residency?
Well, yes, we do have current residents for them, and they are Dare County addresses. Yes. But guidance from the state also says that you can approve a previously removed voter if there is no evidence of them having moved out of the county or out of the state.
You can or cannot.
You can.
It looks, unless,
And some of these applicants' addresses have remained the same. They are the same addresses that are on the provisional application that was provided on election day when they voted their provisional. And per state guidance, the board may approve a removed voter if there is no evidence of them having resided or left the state or the county. And we did not find any indication on these applications that these voters had in fact left the county or the state.
And I'm
From-
going to accept them.
from the information you just indicated, it looks like their failure was a failure to return the card.
No, that's not the case. The actual failure was not voting in 2 federal general elections, and that's why the system removed. Right.
I move that these 48 provisional ballots be approved.
I,
Discussion.
approved, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. And I wasn't.
I should say a little bit more. 48 provisional ballots where the people were in an inactive status because
These weren't
They're not
inactive.
inactive.
because they hadn't voted in 2 prior
They've been
federal
removed.
elections. They've been removed.
2 federal general elections, they were removed.
I don't think that we should approve these as accepting them, because otherwise, why do we do list maintenance? If we're going to take people off for not voting for a particular period of time, but then they show up and we say, okay, well, we're going to take your vote, then what is the point of taking them off the voter rolls?
I need to add a little something else too, because some of these that we researched, we did find that they possibly should not have been removed. So, like I said, per state guidance, they're telling us that these voters that were removed, the board has the discretion and you may approve them even though they are removed. But in researching some of these applications, we did, however, find that some of them should not have been removed, and we feel like their votes should stand. Uh, I don't know.
I feel like we should accept them because I think it's more a communication failure. I just don't think people are aware.
They don't
Of
vote
this.
for two general elect, they don't vote
They
for
haven't
8
voted
years.
in 11
just don't-
years.
Well, I just don't think they know that that disqualifies them.
If they didn't show up for federal,
You know, we're so
state,
close to this, but man,
Then why should we have any
Civilians.
rules for anybody?
well,
We could just say,
no, rules are
nobody
good.
needs to register,
They
ever.
just have to be communicated.
we do every year. We communicate every election, local elections, state election.
Every election,
Federal
we go
election.
through this.
I agree with Judy. I think, I can't give you off the top of my head a percentage, but there are a number of voters who are of the opinion that once they register, they're registered. And they can vote.
And they don't show up for 10 years.
Yeah.
No. Two
It would be 8
general,
years.
two general. That's, yeah, that's 8 years.
4 years,
General elections.
federal elections.
They're not general elections, though.
Yes.
They're generals, not admirals, okay.
But then if it's just 4 years, then they were rightfully removed.
And it is 4 years, but it's federal. It doesn't give a time
Right.
period. It gives a category. And midterms are considered federal elections.
Okay.
I mean, because we did make notes on some of these. We did make notes on some of these that there was no record of registration, removed after 2 federal generals. I noted that the registration date was August of 1995, just on this particular one, and that person had never voted.
And there is no law saying that once you register, you have to vote to stay on there. However, there has to be some contact. So to be removed, there should have been no contact.
What are you saying now?
You can be registered for 50 years and never vote.
Right.
You cannot be removed from that as long as if there's been some attempt to contact and you haven't, if they've sent you a card, which they do after a federal election, when you don't show up, you're sent a card. If that's returned as undeliverable or it's not returned at all, that's when you go into inactive. So there's somewhere along the line, there were attempts to notify this voter that, hey, you've got a registration hanging out there and you're not using it. And if there's no response,
Right.
then
That's not necessarily the case.
But some of these have different,
Hang on. What was the motion? We can go over this for 27 times.
but I think the board may need to look at these individually because there's different circumstances, although they are all under the same category as being removed after 2 federal elections. Some of them, the information is a little bit different and would lend to a different outcome if you could look at the notes that we've made on the applications themselves, because we did try to note the registration date, when they were removed, and when they last voted on some of these applications. And I think that would make a
then we need to do
better
that.
decision with that.
So we're going to vote on.
Rather than
one at a
us
time.
looking at each one, could you go through those and give the details, Jackie, please?
For this particular one, we noted that this person was removed after 2 federal general elections in 2019. This particular person last voted in 2008.
I move that provisional ballot be approved.
That's why we purge them. No.
What is he saying?
That we approve them all.
We approve them all?
No, that
This
one.
one, he's saying this
Oh,
person,
okay.
this person was removed in 2019, but last voted in 2008.
2019.
2019 was the removal date.
Okay, so I'd say we don't need to approve that one.
Right.
So I make a motion, we do not approve it.
Or he made a
Well, I've
motion.
made a motion that we approve it. You can just vote no on my motion.
Well, it seems like if we have a law that we're going to observe, that we have to treat everything fairly under that law. I just have a problem with the law. I mean, in Australia, you're born and
We
you
don't
can
get, to
vote.
yeah, but we don't get to write the law because we'd
You
have a
need to
field
get it
day.
changed then.
He made a motion to accept that first ballot.
Do I hear a second?
Can someone
Fails.
just state the law?
Hmm?
Just state the law again. It's if you have not voted.
It
in the
says,
last-
in our system, when they have a removal, it says removed, and then the explanation on the side, it says removed after 2 federal general elections. And that's what we found on all of these,
All of those.
on
So
all
it
of these.
Seems like if you're going to apply that to one, they have to be applied to all.
I agree. But we have the discretion in this category to approve them if we want to.
Oh, wishy-washy.
Sandy, she has a question.
Sandy, how is this different from the ballot that you denied, but remove under the old purge law? Is this the same law?
No, this is the new law. This is the 2 federal elections. When they miss the first federal election, they're sent a card. And that card they're supposed to return. If they don't return that card, or if it's sent back as undeliverable, then they're moved to inactive. Then we go to the next federal election. Then if they don't appear for that federal election, that's when they're removed under the new law, which has been in place for some time now. But we can't sit here and write the law.
No,
Heck.
can't.
My 2 cents is, there really aren't that many requirements or laws to be eligible to vote. There are just a few. One of them is you need to be registered. And these people are not registered.
That's correct. They were removed under the guidelines, and they are not registered.
If you think that that's unfair that they are removed for that reason, then that's a whole nother issue. That's changing the law.
Well, just to be clear, that's not exactly correct. We have, under these categories, the discretion, given the law as it is, to make a decision if we choose to do so. So just stating what the law is misses the point. I don't want to be holding us up. If I'm the only one that's of this opinion, then my motion fails for lack of a second.
Well, it hasn't been seconded, so what do we do now?
We go on, we move on. The
Need
motion
to go
failed.
on from there then.
Yeah. There should then be a motion to approve them.
No one seconded your
No one
motion to
seconded
approve.
it.
Well, then, I know. I'm suggesting that there now, somebody needs to make a motion to approve them.
That's what you did.
No, I mean to disapprove them. I'm sorry, to disapprove. I'm sorry.
I make a motion that we deny it, disapprove.
I second the motion.
All 48, or you do it individually? What does the motion encompass? 48?
For the one we're discussing.
Well, we can't do these one by one, or we will never, ever.
No, yeah,
finish.
we already,
Jackie, you said that there were a few in there that you thought were different and probably should be approved. Do you know which ones those are?
The one that were erroneously removed and isolated.
She's looking.
Yeah, because she thought that some were mistakenly done.
comment, you all are here for the voters, and I think it is your responsibility to count every vote that you possibly can, if there's anyone else.
We are quite aware of why we're here. And we're trying to, but we want to be responsible and follow the law.
But you can consider each provisional separately if you elect.
And you do have discretion. I think we're using the discretion to pull some of what the Jackie said, what the legislature can do.
Let's not get 42 that we're going to review. I mean, 1 or 2, yes, but let's,
She's pulling the ones that she said she thought had been mistakenly.
yeah, but how many of them are there going to be? Okay. Yeah, otherwise, why do we purge them?
Jordan Hennessy tried to sneak in here with a mask on like I wouldn't recognize him. I got your number. How are you? No.
I'm sorry, I don't know you, Jordan. Can you introduce the,
Pardon?
I say, I don't know Jordan. Can you?
Jordan was legislative aide to Senator Bill Cook.
Okay, thanks.
You don't look any older now than you did when I visited you. Really.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we did find one here that is a provisional, and they were removed after 2 federal general elections, but they also tried to do a same-day registration on the 27th of October at the Kill Hills one-stop site, and they did not have a document for a same-day registration, so they voted a provisional, but they have not submitted their HAVA document.
Okay. So
What is
that's
that?
in the
What-
disapproved pile.
Yeah,
Let's approve.
no.
No. No, we're not going to do them one by one, just.
Okay, we pulled it, well, these are the ones we pulled. These we know that are,
They were removed in March. They were removed March 30th, 2020, after 2 federals, but they're still at their same address as the address that they were previously removed. Their address never changed.
so we would say, staff would say that person would be counted because there's no indication that although they were removed after 2 federals, that they maintain a consistent residency in the county.
But they were removed legitimately.
Yeah, that's the thing, we're going to do the law or not do the law.
Well, she said that she thought a couple of them had been removed by accident.
But that's
what
not
I
by
was-
accident, because that's,
No,
They-
this isn't by accident.
they,
No.
they,
What else do you have?
They all fall in the same category.
No, so
Do I hear a motion to disapprove the 48?
I second the motion.
No, I haven't heard a motion yet.
You made a motion.
No, I can't, I'm not making, you make it.
Oh, I make a motion that we disapprove the 48.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Can we be a little more and say why? Because they,
Because they had previously been removed from the voter rolls
okay,
after missing 2 federal elections.
right.
And that's.
I make a motion that everything that Sandy just said about following the law is the reason we're removing the 48 folks.
It's actually, yes, 48, yes.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I seconded it.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I oppose. The state has given us the discretion in this category to approve them. And so I don't think they should be removed, so I vote no.
Motion carries.
Motion carries with Mr. Cofield opposing. Okay, what's the next
The
group?
last category is 2 provisional applications that had no record of registration whatsoever. No DMV, no online transactions, no nothing.
Do I hear a motion to disapprove what's the number?
52.
52 provisionals.
I make a motion, we disapprove the 52 provisionals that had no
Record of
Records.
registration.
of registration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
That's the end of the provisionals.
That's the end of the provisionals.
Whew.
We have
Now we have the other ones.
these 2, these that can be fed in. Of the- No, this is separate. Okay. Okay. So now we're moving on to the absentees.
I'm trying to count right now.
Of, count of,
Triple and declination. I have 152 rejected. And 13 approved, which only was 155 positions. Up there we go.
19 approved. 19 approved.
I have 17 approved.
Have 19 approved. Yeah.
We had a
You
total
have
of,
3 with geocode issues.
I have 4 with you.
Oh, here it is, yeah. There's four geocode issues.
2 geo, oh, that's another,
Is that a geocode?
well, issue incorrectly, active and registered and they were registered and active. They just.
Yeah, that's right.
good.
Mm-hmm.
One inactive, one registered. Oh,
Oh, that one, yeah, that one that was the ATV that was issued in error at the Kitty Hawk precinct.
Provisional.
one inactive, one that was registered.
Mm-hmm. 13 unreported moves.
That's 19.
13 and 4,
I
7.
still get 17, I'm missing two also, two approvals.
Okay,
But
so,
I know the one I'm missing is the lady who,
You have 13 unreported moves.
Yeah,
the one where the ATV was issued in error. And then we have,
You have one that was inactive that should have just been updated and vote in the precinct. You have 3 geocode issues.
4.
And then one of them that was sort of a geocode, it was because the address was incorrect in the system.
Yeah,
the very first one, the one where someone else voted early and then her provisional didn't have that one. And the inactive where they should have just pushed the button and made them active, and made them vote provisional.
That's-
They're in 19.
that's 19.
Right.
Okay, 19 approval.
Yes. So do I.
Ken, look,
Oh, we're on TV this time, huh?
okay, Sandy, you want to do these next, or you want to open up the provisionals, and we'll do that all at once, right?
why don't we,
Militaries too, don't forget.
while we're doing this, why don't you go ahead and open those, and then we can pull the ballots? Is that what you're asking me?
They have to be opened manually.
They can't go through the machine?
No.
Well, then why don't y'all open those while we go through the absentees? Is that what you're asking me to begin with?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to, yeah, we've got military overseas ballots that are transposed that the board needs to review for accuracy.
Yes.
What do we start on the other end?
Yeah, whatever.
This is military, and this is overseas. So we'll start overseas down there, military down here.
Perfect.
That's military, and that's just
Is this it, 5 military and 3 overseas?
Mhm.
3 overseas. If my count is right, but, you know. Excuse me? Yes.
You want us to open these and then you all pull them out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever.
And if I could ask the board, when you pull out the envelope, to keep the envelope with the ballot and make sure that the ballot has the appropriate annotation at the top for provisional.
Top right hand on the ballot, there should be a P.
In the box in the middle, there should be a P for provisional or provisional written on it.
Not on the military, just those, right?
Jim?
Those are 3 militaries.
Should have 5 militaries.
Hmm?
We should have 5 militaries, okay.
We should have,
We haven't opened it yet.
Oh, okay.
I can go ahead and do that.
this count is going to be one more than we closed with last time because of the ballot that was found in the envelope after the meeting. And so that's been run through. So there'll be one more, but it's an accurate count.
our zero tape. The zero tape is printing on the provisional DS-200.
We're not opening this. No.
Should this one be open?
Yeah, but I'll that one doesn't need to be transposed. It's the actual
Right.
ballot.
Gotcha.
Who puts these dates on it?
We do that.
These came, they sent this on this date and you approved it
That's the
today.
board meeting date.
Okay, and this one says the 3rd.
No, that's an error. That's
Okay.
the board meeting date.
All right, that's why I wanted to check on what was happening. Okay, thank you.
Did y'all want to see these two?
Military?
Yeah, the transpose.
No.
Transpose.
Did you make sure we had 5? That was 3 and 2 is 5. No, don't worry about it.
They don't have to all.
Yeah, they already checked them.
You
so.
got 2 teams here.
You want to take this one out?
Do I know, but I will, I can figure out.
That's a military.
Another military?
Yeah, but it was a mail-in.
Whatever. Good luck.
$5 says it doesn't go through first time.
You're right, because to make it fit,
I'm gonna win.
they folded
Oh,
it,
she's back there fixing it.
they folded it, and then they folded the folds.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's 6 military in it? Still 5.
No, there's,
5 on that sheet.
right,
Okay, because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, 'cause
3
I-
overseas.
I looked at 3 military, and I opened an envelope,
What's she got down there?
okay? Because I looked at 3, and that's what I was asking. What do you want me to do with these? Take them out?
Take the ballot out.
That was the last of the last pile.
You
Take
can take and match if you want to. If you see this number, you can match it on your report. Just
Okay, no, what I.
For military, when you're opening them, if you want
Okay,
it to
what I'm
match
saying
it.
is, I looked at 3. She had me open one as 4. Where's the 5th? That's what I asked about. She said 5 military, and I only got 3.
This would have been.
Are you done? Are you still?
And one I
Finish with
opened,
these two.
4. So where's the 5th? There should be one more. If she got 2, we got to.
One was in the envelope.
What do you want me to do with this? and check, there's a provisional,
Yes.
and check this number here.
Jackie. Jackie.
James is calling me.
Yeah, you try and find the 5th military for me.
It's down here.
Okay,
You
I
got
had,
26,
I had 3 of them, yeah.
you got
Here's one.
Military,
Judy's got one.
56, 59,
that's 3,
60.
that's 4.
This one is the
That's the 5th. All right, like I say,
number 44,
Okay,
right there.
all right, well, I only saw,
You want to look at it?
I just want to make sure what my 5 is your 5.
Jackie? You want us to write provisional?
Yeah, if it's not there, it needs to be there.
What needs to be there?
The P.
There's nothing on here at all.
Needs to
I
be,
know, we fight over this every
Axe head.
time we do provisionals. They don't put it on there. I don't know why.
Okay, do I put
This
anything else?
one
Yeah, it would be helpful
needs
if
to
you
be
put.
88.
This is the envelope right
Okay,
here.
So if you see their address, that they flip it over. So put Avon, so that Avon gets the credit.
Just
When we do it.
spell Avon?
AVON. Because when we do a precinct sort, Avon will get the credit for that.
Okay. I'm with you.
Just pulling the ballot out and making sure at the top of the ballot, there's a P or provisional in the precinct. Because when we do our precinct sort, we have to sort it by precinct.
Okay.
Okay, she wrote provisional, but she did not put the precinct, so we need to add the precinct,
You
and
wanna-
it's gonna be
you- I suppose
KDH.
you-
And just write KDH
Oh, no, I
beside
don't
it.
need to look at the ballots.
I don't know.
Just leave them out.
Mhm.
Oh, they don't want them in the envelope,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause they're gonna put them all in.
5 military, that's all we had, 3 overseas.
Yeah.
3 provisionals,
No, not that we accepted.
just, okay. Just 19. Right? We accepted 19.
I think we did more than 19, but not a whole lot.
There was 4 GOs and 13 something else, and 1 error and 1 inactive. That's what I got here. I don't know if that's. We got 5 military and 3 overseas. The 5 military, I know.
Do you want to check what I did?
Is that wrong?
What is,
No, I don't think so. I think that is right.
That was just making sure.
Everybody else got
Precinct
19 out there
and,
too, so.
oh, tax head.
Yeah, that's Nags
We'll go on
Head,
consensus
and the
with it.
poll book number
making
is
sure that
Here.
119.5.
Yeah.
You don't want us to write that on it.
No,
Okay,
just
okay.
P and the precinct.
We're gonna make it 11?
Still got the absentees to do. We don't need to go through those one by one. We can just do, yeah.
This is gonna be, not Rodante, it's gonna be Chip. That's gonna be. Next is.
Next, in January, we have to start the voter ID, right? I mean, the picture ID.
I think so, right?
It's still a law, it's still a law in January.
Yeah, it was just off, I think, until after this one.
Yeah. Something on.
Okay, we've ready to run our provisional ballots. We have 19 approved provisional ballots. Our public count on the DS-200 is 0. We've run our 0 tape and it is showing zeros. If anybody would like to look at it, please feel free. No viewings?
Oh, heck, I don't want to disappoint you.
Last time to look.
There you go.
You can prove it's
There's
a
a
zero.
0 and here's a 0 tape.
When we're finished with this part of it, staff's gonna have to go back in the office and enter everything into the system for us to get our canvas counts. So, well, when they do that, we'll take a break. And somebody has to keep an eye on Ken because he'll go over the wall. And we have to have him for the canvas.
My first time as an observer, so thank you all for what you do. It is divided, and it's not easy. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. You've got the really boring part. Oh, I know. And either.
No, when you have warehouses, where hundreds of people are in there counting, and I can't imagine that recount in Georgia. what they
Oh,
go through.
I know.
Yes, yes. And if that kind of bothers you, because when you have observers, I mean, they're there to see that you do things right, but they're also there to try to catch you doing something wrong, and, so you've got to feel pretty confident in what you do, and if it ends up wrong, you just have to be ready to take the licks.
Well, it's certainly a learning curve. I had no idea how complicated this was.
This is.
Got our ballots in.
For selection time. So,
Ballots are in, the public count is 19. So I'm going to close the polls on the provisionals.
okay, let's,
Oversee
how do you
them.
have the absentee sorted?
not, the ballots, they're not sorted. I mean,
Don't they have to
do you want to
cut
check them
open?
off on the list? Or what are you,
No,
they're in numerical order.
okay, are there any of them that you felt that we shouldn't approve?
No, all these are in order. They all have the proper signatures and everything.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
How many are there?
We're approving the ones that they approved.
How many are there?
165. 165. And that's including military and overseas. So we good to start opening these?
Yes. James, how did you vote on that?
Okay.
So that was unanimous.
There should be 157 of those, huh? Clever. 57 and 5 and 3.
Uh,
Thanks.
157, easy, 700, right?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. $157.
Because when you're originally brought in, that would have been the board meeting date, but you couldn't approve it because sometimes we just do a mass, we do it real quick and then after further review, we had to do it because of the signature, so we had to change the date. So this one was one that we got a cure letter and you guys
Like this
approved
one?
it. Both of them, they sent in cure letters.
Yeah, okay, that's what I want to make sure that.
Yeah, we had to change the date.
Okay, I have the absentee, DS 200 open. The public count is 0. The tape reads 0. If anybody would like to see it, please feel free to come up and look. Yes, because this is supplemental absentee. And then it gets added to it.
You want to double check the envelopes? We don't have a situation.
Oh,
Double check
man.
the envelopes. Double check they're empty.
I don't, did you hear it go through the first time? And I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it go through. Did you?
No, I think she's pulling ring.
Yeah, I think that's what she's doing.
No, I'm not. That's all I have in my hand right now. Stay up.
Okay, when you finish, if you could count the ballots and count the number of envelopes to make sure they match, and that way we won't have to do an envelope dive again.
You should just do a double check in the envelope.
Yeah. we're saving him for 10, because he really likes to play.
Building a nest.
That's only when I cut them open and make a mess out of them.
37.
I haven't counted your original.
Okay, well,
Yes.
that behind you, then count yours and I'll count these.
Oh, I counted my envelopes and ballots.
Teamwork.
Oh, do they?
Yes,
Oh, we're
boss,
good.
whatever. As long as they're on this lunch, I'm okay. What do you chew?
Yep. What was your count?
26 and 26. I did both. My husband told me the other day that I was going to miss all this election stuff come January. He's dead now.
Did you finish that big project?
Didn't I tell you that they called me back?
No.
Got a call 2 weeks ago saying, Sandy, we know that I do freelance on the side. And I did this huge project for someone that involved describing 100 zillion counties in 3 states. And it just went on and on and on. And they changed lists on me at one point and all this. Finally had it done. And I was a happy camper. Get a call 2 weeks ago saying, hey, the client just got back to us and they forgot half the map in this one state. And sent me a bunch more. And I said, well, you're going to have to work on my time this time. And then 3 days later, I get an email that says, ding, 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 they just found the hump in this state. I'm never going to finish it.
We have one ballot that the machine won't read, so we're gonna transpose it.
And there are 24 of these.
That's it.
Do we have to sign off on this?
No, that's not our one to sign off on. I asked the same thing.
Okay.
Did that, military that came in an envelope, did that get opened?
You see the number of the very first client, very first voter? It sure stayed a long time before it got back then, didn't it?
Yeah, almost 5,000 later.
Yeah. That's right. You know, it got out there and then they never sent it back.
It was 5,000 later.
This was the new one, right? This is the one for signatures.
Okay.
This is one, just for you, because it has to be notarized, so like we did before.
Yeah.
And that's for the military and overseas, and this is for civilian.
Sandy?
This is the one-stop poll book.
Just one place. Yep. Okay.
One-stop poll book.
Oh, that number, yeah.
Stop, hold. Okay. Jackie said one location or 3 locations? Okay. That one, you go to jail by yourself. That form, you go to jail by yourself.
One-stop poll book.
Yeah,
What is
yep, that would be the one.
one-stop poll book for all 3 sites. It's like this, but it's the.
It's better than the 60-some we had to send out the other day. That was stupid.
60.
You know, all this stuff we have to do that we know is the state never looks at. Because if they did, they would catch the counties that aren't doing things correctly.
One-stop poll
They don't catch them.
And then they end up getting sued. Or hanging the key on the door, the security closet.
Yeah, little things. The candidates having to go to the state and ask them to make their board hire a director because they're a week away from election. You know? And no one knew that there was an issue there.
No.
That's the only one.
book. That's it. Okay, this voter made too many selections in a contest, U.S. Senate. I'm just going to accept the ballot as marked.
They sign this, or is it too soon? Canvas. Do you sign this tape now or at Canvas?
Either one.
Do you want to sign it now?
Sure, why not?
This is the supplemental absentee. It says 19. I'm sorry, provisional. There should be 3 places.
That's what I said yesterday. I knew. We can never find them all.
Public count 165.
Whew, yay. Ken. Sign in 3 places.
3, okay.
Uh-huh. And we're gonna give to Ken last because he always screws the tape up. So.
I just take it apart. I can never find it. I can, you know, and it just.
As soon as this tape comes out, our meeting is supposed to start at 11, but it's going to take them a few minutes to go in and enter all this stuff in the system for the canvas report. So we will take,
3 times.
we will close this meeting out and start the 11 o'clock meeting approximately 11:15. Will that be enough time? Do you want me to push it back further? 11:30? Okay, we will close this meeting and then adjourn for the reconvene for the canvas at 11:30 to give them time to get everything in the system.
They listen to you.
Mhm.
You, that.
Hey, they're great staff. They follow directions really well. And you're infamous.
Wow, bunch of people haven't signed this.
There's 4.
4 of them.
This one, huh?
Got a lunch menu.
There you go.
So here. And here.
Pam, is the canvas meeting going to be a separate thing?
I think there's one more.
Somebody else didn't sign. Good. Not only me.
Who's missing?
Sandy, Clark, Judy, him.
It's 4 places.
Yeah, 4. See, it falls apart by itself. It just fell apart by itself.
You did.
Tim did
it.
He did it. Tape.
3 tapes from each one.
100 feet of paper. Kill 3 trees. It's only for the attorney when somebody gets sued.
That's a 0. It's 165.
I love you handling the paper,
You do.
just like I do. Long pieces.
Total, 165.
Same stuff you told her, right?
Yeah. Story, and I'm sticking to it.
I forgot my name after a while.
0 tape.
Pam? Well, are you going to have to change anything between this meeting and the Canvas meeting? Or is it going to be on one tape? You are going to split it? I can't hear you.
Separate live stream.
Okay. Then after we close this one out, we need to go into the Canvas meeting to open it and then to go into recess for 30 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Go to recess and open it when we started.
Hmm?
Why don't we just start at 30 minutes? from now? Why you started and then go
About
to
time is
Because
11.
it's been public noticed for 11 o'clock. So if anybody didn't watch this one, they wouldn't need to notice that one was going to be late.
Zero tape. And there's a total 165.
Reminds me of my kids when they were toddlers on the toilet paper.
That's it. You're done, right? What else, Jackie? That's it? Or we can close the meeting now.
But we can close this meeting. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Dear County, I've got to stop calling us the Board of Commissioners. They're getting really cranky about it. Dear County Board of Elections now is in session for the canvass at 11 a.m. on Friday, November 13th. We will take a 30-minute break so that staff can finish uploading the supplemental counts in that we just finished with. So we'll be back at 11:30. Do I hear a motion to go into recess?
Make a motion, we go to recess.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?